Hey y'all, it's Amanda. This is my YouTube channel for A Different Beat. Today we're going to be talking about how to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into your meals. And I'm going to be showing y'all a sheet pan meal that uses the seasoning Harissa. If you've been following me on Instagram, I posted about Harissa a few days ago. It's a spice blend that uses things like smoked paprika, cumin, garlic, coriander, so it's kind of this sweet, spicy, smoky blend. It's really good. It makes your house smell excellent. So if you haven't already, click the subscribe button below and we'll get into it. Okay, so before we get into the meat of this video, I did want to mention I am a nutrition and wellness consultant. So what that means is that I can show how to incorporate healthy habits into your life, but I am not a doctor. So if you are thinking of changing your habits in any way, always consult your doctor first. I am a vegetarian and I'm also allergic to dairy. So the recipes that I am going to be showing are recipes that I do make for myself. However, I'm not promoting a vegetarian lifestyle. The whole purpose of A Different Beat is that everyone has their unique needs when it comes to their diet. So without waiting any longer, let's get into it. All right, so it's no wonder that we need fruits and vegetables in our diet. However, the question is, why do we need a variety of them? So fruits and vegetables provide our micronutrients. They provide things like our vitamins, minerals, and things that are like antioxidants. And what antioxidants are is that they help to protect the cells from damage. So things like aging and inflammation, it helps to protect the cells from those things. So it is important to have them in our diet. So the cool thing about antioxidants is they are usually responsible for the different colors that we see in our fruits and vegetables, which is why people say to eat the rainbow, so that you can get the different antioxidants that are in foods. So the blog post that I posted yesterday, it is linked in the description below. It lists the different food colors and the antioxidants that are usually in those foods. So if you want more information about that, feel free. The link is below. However, today we're just going to be talking about how to incorporate fruits and vegetables into your everyday diet. Okay, so for the majority of this video, we are basically going to be talking about vegetables because it seems like that's more of a harder thing to get in our diet on a regular basis. But I did want to take a minute and talk about fruits. For me personally, what I do is that I find whatever fruits are in season or on sale, and I have them around, kind of like the apples that you see over here. I have them around, I have them in sight, so when I'm ready for a snack or I want it on the side of my breakfast, that it's ready. You can also put it into your smoothies or your protein shakes since they usually are easily blended up. But let's start talking about vegetables because I feel like that's more of a concern that people have. So since we were already talking about smoothies or protein shakes, it's pretty easy to throw, a banana. I'm going to be talking more about how much that I hate bananas, but bananas are really good to throw in smoothies. You can also throw in things like berries, peaches, frozen fruit is really easy to find to throw into your smoothies, so it's not a big deal. And actually frozen foods, a lot of times they're flash frozen, so they actually hold on to more nutrients than sometimes what the produce section has, because it takes longer for the produce to get to that section. So having frozen fruits is not a bad option. For smoothies and vegetables though, it can be a little bit trickier if you do want to add vegetables into your smoothies, just so that you don't taste them as much, especially if you don't like vegetables. There's things like spinach doesn't have a very strong flavor. It's very easy for it to be blended in, but also things like squashes. So zucchini, summer squash, even pumpkin puree is very easy to put into a smoothie. You can't taste it very much, and you have extra fiber, and you also have a serving of your vegetables already there. Okay, so sauces and curries. Pretty much with any curry, you can throw in just about any vegetable that you like. If you have ever ordered a vegetarian curry from like a Thai restaurant, they put like 7 different kinds of vegetables in there. You really can just throw about anything in there. For sauces, if it's more like a red sauce for pasta, I usually stick to the normal onion, bell pepper, mushrooms, and if it's a cream sauce, you can do a little bit more with that. Things like broccoli and carrots go really good in there too. So for sauces or things like curries, it's really easy to kind of throw the things that you really enjoy in those things, just to throw a handful in there. So some other ideas would be for breakfast, if you normally have eggs in the morning, it's really easy to throw a few different chopped up vegetables. That's actually something that I meal prep at the beginning of the week just to have it ready. Just some chopped onion, bell pepper, mushrooms, even potatoes or sweet potatoes are really easy to throw in there. Broccoli is really good if you're doing more of a veggie skillet. It's really easy to throw it in, and it's first thing in the morning. Other ideas would be things like lettuce wraps or wraps themselves. You usually have like a ground meat or something small like lentils. So chopping up vegetables to be that same like bite size to throw in the filling, or smaller vegetables like green peas. Just to throw that in there. It doesn't have to be much. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. It can just be just a cup of vegetables just to throw in there. It's really easy to use and to be able to throw that into those meals. Okay, so soups. Soups is by far my favorite thing to do when I have vegetables in the fridge that need to be used. You have a few pieces of kale that are starting to get a little limp. Your celery is not as vibrant as it used to be. The carrots are starting to dry out. Whatever the case is, if they need to be used, it's really easy to just chop them up. I usually have a vegetable broth on hand and a can of beans somewhere in the pantries. So just throwing that together and then having a veggie soup for lunch the next few days, just so I can finish up the other vegetables that are in the fridge. It is an excellent way to use up anything that's left over. So last but not least, if you are just the person that doesn't want to throw vegetables into different things like your curry sauce or things like soup or whatever the case is, you want to just have it more as a side, my favorite way to eat vegetables, especially for people that don't like vegetables, is to roast them. You can put whatever spices on it. Do not be afraid of spices. It usually caramelizes them a little bit, and the natural sweetness that are in the vegetables come out, and they don't lose any flavor that could be lost in things like steaming them. So if you haven't tried roasting vegetables on the regular, try it out. And like I said, don't be afraid of spices. Start putting whatever that you like on there. And speaking of, if y'all have a specific vegetable that you really do like to use in everything, I personally think that broccoli is the chicken of vegetables. You can put it anywhere, with anything. Maybe not with smoothies. I have not tried broccoli with smoothies, but if you have a certain vegetable that you can throw in anywhere and you love eating any time of day, let me know in the comments below. I want to know what y'all's favorites are. So talking about seasonings, let's start talking about the sheet pan meal that I have for y'all. It uses chickpeas because chickpeas are really easy to be roasted with vegetables. So I use chickpeas. You can use chicken breast or another meat that you think that might work well with it. But I have sweet potatoes and onion, and then I make a couscous that's on the side that uses fresh herbs. Couscous is a pasta, so if you are trying to stay away from things that are processed or you're trying to stay away from gluten, you can do a really simple rice, but having something that's kind of plain on the side, I would have, because the harissa has such a bold flavor and you want all of that flavor. So just whatever plain side that you can have, whether that's rice, quinoa, and then have just some fresh herbs with it. It's really delicious. So let's get into it. Okay, so we are going to start with making our harissa mixture, kind of like a sauce. So it's going to be a 1/4 cup of oil, and I've been using olive oil in this recipe, and then 3 tablespoons of honey or agave, and make sure not to drop the camera into the bowl, which has happened. And then it's going to be 3 tablespoons of the harissa spice blend. I ordered this online just because of it being 2020 when I had made this recipe. If I didn't have to go to the store for anything, I didn't go to the store, so I was able to order it online. If you can't find it at your local grocery store, it comes in a package that's sealed, so it's nice and fresh. So mix that around. You want it to be a little bit thinner than a paste, but thicker than just a sauce. And then we're going to add our other ingredients that we're going to be roasting. So I have chickpeas, about 2 cans of drained chickpeas, 2 medium sweet potatoes, and then 1 red onion that's sliced. And then just mix it around so that everything is evenly coated. A lot of recipes, for whatever reason, they say to put it out on the pan first and then drizzle the olive oil and spices and then toss it on the sheet pan, but I find that that's not realistic for me. So I either do this where I toss it in a bowl, or if I'm really wanting to be lazy and I don't want to have as much cleanup, I toss it into a gallon-sized bag and just toss it around. Just make sure that it is sealed, because I have dumped all of my ingredients out on the floor before, so be careful about that. So once it's all coated, we will put it on the lined baking sheet. I usually line it with parchment paper, and we will have the oven preheated at 425 and bake it for 20 to 25 minutes. You just want to make sure that you start to see the sweet potato brown a little bit. And then once that is in the oven, we will start making our couscous or rice or quinoa or whatever kind of plain side that you want to cook with it. So once it's cooked, whatever that you might be using, I have couscous here. I have about a cup and a half, 2 cups worth that's cooked. And then we're going to be adding some fresh parsley, fresh cilantro, and then 2 green onions that's sliced. And it's okay if it's still warm and it kind of, I can't think of the word. Oh, good Lord. It kind of wilts a little bit. There we go. It kind of wilts a little bit. It's fine if that happens. And then we're going to be adding lemon juice. From 1 lemon, I usually squeeze or roll a lemon on the counter before I cut it. And then we are going to fast forward a minute because I forgot to take out the seeds and be smart, and yeah, so just hold on a moment. Okay, so now we're going to mix this all together and kind of set it aside to wait for the sheet pan to come out. You can add other things to it, but like I said, the harissa has so much spice to it that it's really good to kind of leave this plain and just have it a little bit, have it so where it can kind of cool it a little bit. So then once the sheet pan is out, you just let it cool for a few minutes, toss it around, and you're ready to start making your bowl. So thank y'all for watching. The recipe to the Harissa Sheet Pan Meal is linked below. Same thing with the blog post about the different colors of antioxidants. That's also linked below. If you guys have any questions, you want to see something in a video, comment below. You can always follow me on my Instagram page and my blog, which I'll be showing in just a minute. As always, keep finding your meat, and I will see y'all in the next video. So